Hi, Northaven family and friends, and welcome to Northaven Voices. I'm Bob Roton, and I am excited today to be visiting with Diane Merrell and interviewing Diane. Now, Diane is very involved in the church. She is part of the SPRC, Staff Parish Relations Committee, and she's on the leadership board and very involved in multiple classes. So I'm excited to learn more about Diane, and you guys learn more about Diane. So hi, Diane, and welcome.
Hey, Bob, it's good to see you.
Good. Well, we'll just start like we start all of them, and you just tell us, who is Diane, and give us some background about Diane, and what are you doing today?
I was born and raised in Fort Worth, Texas. I'm a 50s baby. I went to the University of Texas in Austin. I lived in Houston for 3 years after graduation, and then moved to Dallas for, I don't know, a year and a half, maybe 2 years, and then moved to New York. And I was in New York for the longest period of time as an adult, 8 years before I moved back here. And here I have two incredible, amazing daughters, adult daughters. And they are both living the good life in Washington, D.C.
Oh, both of them are in Washington, D.C.? I did not know that. Wow.
Well, not accidentally. My oldest would say it was absolutely not accidental. They're about 5 years apart, incredibly close. My oldest went to New York University and graduated and ended up in D.C. for a job. My youngest went to Furman University in South Carolina and came home and was like, I don't want to be here, and decided that she wanted to go live in Washington, D.C. And so she left for Washington, D.C. and lived with my oldest in a 500 square foot apartment while she looked for a job. Yeah. And amazingly enough, they still love each other. I mean,
yeah, that is amazing.
It was the longest month of both their lives, but they still love each other. So anyway, so they're there. They're my light. They're my joy, and my life partner, Gail, Barry.
Oh, good.
So that's me. Nothing really.
How long have you and Gail been together then?
You know, this is one of those questions that I am the worst with dates. Seriously, the worst with dates. I think it's been around, I want to say 17 years, maybe.
For y'all, good for you.
Sometime around 17 to 18 years.
Yeah.
But neither one of us know. So around this time of year, every year we both kind of go, I think it's been another year. Well, happy anniversary. We just kind of go on.
I think Tim and I had multiple anniversaries until we finally got married, and then we had one.
See, I mean, something needs to happen in order to mark it. And every year we say we're going to mark it, and we won't forget. And then I don't write it down, and so we forget. So
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So, what high school did you graduate from in Fort Worth?
Oh, I'm a suburb girl. I graduated from Halton High, out in the suburbs. Your nemesis school.
Yes, Richland High School. Yeah, I knew. I had to bring that up because I knew.
I know you did. I know you did. I know you did. It's so funny because I'm not sure. And when I left home and went down to Texas, I don't know that I've ever met anyone since that time except for you that knew. You know what I mean? That I had that in common with. So that was fun when I learned that about you.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
I love Fort Worth. I love Fort Worth. It's really a beautiful city. Yeah. So it's a great city.
Yeah. I couldn't wait to get out, but in hindsight, it was a great place to grow up. Mm-hmm. And it's great. It's great.
Now, what is your degree in? You say education, is that what I remember?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
An education major, but when I decided I wanted to go to New York. I tried teaching school, mm-hmm. and it was rough. I was in Houston, and it was rough. Mm-hmm. And most of my students were taller and bigger than me, and it was hard. It was a hard time. It was in this, the late 70s, and there was a lot of, it was just hard. And I was kind of swooped away by a friend who said, I've got a job that you need to consider. And that position actually started my career position. And I was a recruitment coordinator for a law firm in Houston.
Wow.
So then when I went to New York, I worked for a firm. This is kind of somewhat fascinating, at least I thought it was. The firm I went to work for as the legal personnel coordinator. So I managed the recruitment of associates, and then I was the liaison, which was a real fun job, between the associates and the partnership.
Wow.
And yeah, that was great fun. But
I think you have stories there.
Yeah, I have some more stories about that. But I went to work on my first morning in New York City at the Stock Exchange building. Our offices were in the Stock Exchange, 20 Broad. And it was just that iconic, almost like that Mary Tyler Moore moment in wherever she was, Minneapolis or whatever. Yeah. It was just so amazing. And actually, the firm was the firm that Richard Nixon was a partner at.
Wow.
And so they had his office there, and it was all roped off and everything. It was kind of mind blowing. Yeah, it was kind of weird. Anyway, I loved my time in New York. It was I loved it. That was home to me. That was home to me.
Excuse me. So tell us about why Northaven? What brought you to Northaven?
Oh, that's I've been thinking about that since you asked me to do this, which, by the way, everybody, it's much more fun to be on the other side of this and to be doing the interviewing than it is to be on the receiving side. This made me very nervous. Bob, I was born and raised a Methodist. Not a Methodist, I'm sorry, a Baptist.
That's what I thought, well, okay.
Yeah. My father's rolling over in his grave right now. A Baptist, and really had issues and fell away from the church. I mean, I got really tired of hearing that I was never going to be good enough, and all of that kind of stuff. And then when I was in New York, attended a wonderful church, Fifth Avenue Presbyterian. Mm-hmm. And it was the first time I had been in a church where there was deep thinking and deep thoughts and thought-provoking sermons, and you'd leave and you'd chew on it, kind of. And I loved that. So we came to Dallas, and my husband at the time and my kid, we came to Dallas and joined a Presbyterian church here in our neighborhood, and did not have the same experience. And then when we divorced, it was not good. It was rather painful at how that was addressed or treated, in that community. And so I stopped going to church, and I gave up on that. I mean, I was just like, that's all about hurting people. It's not about loving people. And I moved to North Dallas and drove up and down Preston Road. And God was at work in me. Let me tell you something. And every time I drive past Northaven, I'd think, maybe something about it. I don't know if it was a spaceship building. I don't know, but something kept tugging at me. So finally, one day I told Gail, I said, I really feel a call. I really want to do this. I want to go back to church. And I want to try Northaven first. So we went in. I sat through my first sermon. I left. On the way home, I said, I'm joining. And I called Malin that week, and I said, I want to join. And so the rest, as they say, is history. And it's been, it's home. It's home.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, it's great having you there, because you're such a good, supported person. You're always there and smiling and greeting.
Well, bless y'all's heart. I mean, it's one of those things, you can't get rid of me now. You might move, but I'll find you.
We don't want to get rid of it.
So anyway, it has, this is where I believe my spiritual my true spiritual journey has begun, is in the walls of that church with the community, with the people of Northaven. That's where my spiritual journey really began. And
so is there a verse or a story that you connect with most through the spiritual journey?
That's such a tough question for me. I'm not good at that stuff. And I think more what I can say, Bob, is that for me personally, it is the idea that I'm loved.
I love, that's it.
Like who I am, where I am, how I am, that grace is out in front of me, and I'm loved. I don't have to do anything to earn it, which I was constantly not doing well enough. And I learned that first at Northaven through the community, through the people.
Sweet.
And, you guys you're my family. I mean, you're my family. And I take that very seriously. I do not take that lightly. So no, I can't answer that question I should have thought about that. I can't really answer it.
I think about it when you say that, I think about some things that I've learned from Ben Marshall. It's that we all are loved, and that's we are to accept that God loves us. We're all significant,
Yes.
And it sounds like that's what you feel when you're in Northaven. So
yes, yeah, which was the first time in my life. Yeah. I mean, how pitiful is that? But it's the first time in my life that I felt that way. Yeah. And
wonderful,
so,
good. Yeah. Wonderful.
So y'all are stuck with me now.
Yay. What brings you joy, Diane?
Well, you know what I'm going to say. My children.
Your daughter.
My children. It was just the three of us for a lot of years, and their dad moved away, and we were kind of the three musketeers, and they are my light, and they bring me more joy than I can describe. That and being with my friends, my friend family. Yeah.
So hopefully it won't be too much longer before you can get with your girls, huh? So.
Yeah, that's been rough. It's been rough. Yeah. I cannot, and I will not complain, but it's been, I lost my mom in May, and so it's been a long time since I've had a hug from my girls.
Yeah. So I liked one thing that one of the interviews you did, you asked this question, so I'm going to ask it with you.
That's what I get.
What is something that no one knows about you?
Okay. There are so many things that people don't know about me. I'm not willing to tell.
That was an easy question then. I messed up.
Well, my lifelong dream has been to be a backup singer and dancer, like for Gladys Knight and the Pips or something. That kind of thing. I think that I am more of an introvert than most people think I am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I really require a lot of quiet and downtime, and it doesn't seem that way because I get so much energy from being with people. But then I have to take my breaks. So maybe that's a serious thing, but I really would love to be a backup singer. So if anyone out there has a band, just let me know.
I love that.
I can't sing, but
we have these dreams there, because my dream was to be a chorus line dancer, on the Broadway.
There you go. Absolutely. We should start our own thing.
That's right. Crazy. So how has your life been different than what you expected?
Oh, wow. That's a loaded question. I think growing up at the time when I grew up, right? The 50s and into the 60s. And I think the expectation was to find a husband, have babies, and, you know, live your life out that way. And that, you know, I lived in New York, and that was home. That was the first place I felt like I could breathe, which is funny. So I would have never thought that I would have done something like that. I would have never thought that I would have had some relatively
teaching school and just being in a picket fence and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that's not how it worked out for me. And it's really, it's great. It's okay, you know. Yeah. It's okay. I know a lot of people would disagree with that and think that wasn't okay for me in my family or whatever. But yeah, it's okay. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, and I love it. But it's been a very circuitous route to get here.
Of course. That's why we call it life is a journey, right?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yes. We have to ride the river.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
One way or another. Yeah. Okay, Diane, we're getting close to where we need to wrap it up, but I wanted to ask you this is, how would you want to be remembered? How do you want to be remembered?
As someone who loved well, you know, as someone who did her best to show love and to give love and to make a day better for somebody every single day.
Yeah, that's sweet. Beautiful. Yeah. I think you do that. I feel like you do that. Because I know you reach out to people and stay in contact with people in our congregation, and so just reaching out and say hello to them and greeting. When we were meeting, you were there present, saying hello. So I
miss greeting people. I miss seeing people. Yeah.
But yeah. Well, I know you will be remembered that way. We appreciate that. I mean, it is, because I know I feel when I'm with you, I feel you're totally present with me and valid there. So I really appreciate that. So
you're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah.
You're important.
Thank you for what you do for Northaven, and thank you for being on the Connect team. I love it.
I love it too. And you know, Northaven, yeah, I love Northaven.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you, Diane. We love you, and you take good care, and we'll see you soon. So.
Yes, sir. You sure will. Thanks, Bob.
Bye.
Bye.